Hey, hi everyone. My name's Elise Novacic. I am assistant head teacher, year 1-3 team lead, STEM lead, and a year 3 teacher. The most important part, the year 3 teacher. Just to give you some background and sort of the pedagogy and what we've done and why. We've done a lot of work around inquiry at St Andrews to make this really embedded practice across the school, utilising the 5E instructional model as inspiration really to engage, explore, explain, elaborate and evaluate, which obviously goes hand in hand with inquiry. We've also done a lot of work around building independence across the school and explored the ways in which we can utilise sort of Kolb's experiential learning theory, the gradual release of responsibility model, and the Great Teaching Toolkit to enable experiences for our learners across the different cross-curricular responsibilities and AOLEs, but also just found that in terms of inquiry, they do work hand in hand. So we've done a lot of work around sort of experiential learning would come really, really handy with confirmation inquiry. So having that concrete experience and then that reflective observation, abstract conceptualization and active experimentation really confirms and deepens understanding of a concept that they already understand and have good knowledge about, but then they can do further work on. Or for example, a gradual release of responsibility, having that focus session, that guided instruction of I do, we do, you do it together, and then that independent you do is more of that guided inquiry, creating the own procedure of the inquiry, but then presenting it in chosen methods and guided sort of by the practitioner. And then in terms of Great Teaching Toolkit, obviously understanding the content, creating a supportive environment, maximising opportunities to learn and activating those hard thinking skills is that true inquiry where learners are literally given the opportunity to just go. And like we've talked about before, that opportunity to just go can be quite daunting for teachers, but also an incredible opportunity for the learners. And then because of that, and because our need and our want to develop that independence, we just thought it works hand in hand with technology, as we've utilised Hub really effectively as one of the tools for this, and in particular, Google Classroom, which we've talked about before. So our focus was developing independence through open-ended opportunities utilising Google Classroom. We've utilised Google Classroom more as a portfolio of evidence previously as they move through St Andrews. So from reception to year 6, they'll have a portfolio that goes with them from classroom to classroom where all their digital evidence is there, so it's never lost. But for this project, we really saw the potential of using it to host and create more purposeful experiences for learners to access through the range of theories and models that we've just mentioned, because of the different experiences they can have on there. So as year 3, as a team, we're a very large school. We have 744 children. So we have 3 teachers for year 3. And we plan projects around these big questions that we then explore through the different AOLEs and utilise different proficiencies over a number of weeks to then reflect on those big questions. And then we also ensure that there are different levels of inquiry built into these. So why online? There are loads and loads of reasons, obviously, but through Google Classroom, that asynchronous content that we're able to provide to them is really, really great and really purposeful for them to use. So that organised asynchronous content that learners can access whenever and wherever they are is fantastic because they've got us within their classroom. It's also the home of the inquiry journey. So they have all of their findings from start to finish within their folders, if that's what they've chosen, or there may be just elements of their inquiry that are in there, but that's the home of their inquiry journey. There's a vast amount of tools that are obviously linked to Google Classroom, which is fantastic. Lots and lots of them within Hub, so Adobe Cloud Express, Flip, which is obviously now going to be leaving us, which is quite sad, but all of those different tools available through Hub, but also ones like Canva that also just link to Google Classroom so easily, which was fantastic for us. And just that accessibility for our learners, basically, they can access it on whatever device they want, wherever they want, whether that's home or in school. In terms of collaboration, they're given a range of options when engaging in the sort of variety of inquiry methods that they're exposed to, whether that's working in pairs, small groups, independently, and also using the digital tools within Google Classroom, which I know everyone knows about, means they can collaborate online at any point of that inquiry, whether that's the engaging, exploring, explaining, elaborating, or evaluating stage. And as well as this, they can easily collaborate with us as teachers, as we've engaged in live feedback through the tools of choice due to the nature of the provision set up in year 3. So we don't have whole class teaching. Unfortunately, we don't have a teaching assistant, which would be amazing, but we work with 2 groups who are working on a focused task, and then 2 groups are in our enhanced areas where we've got enhanced and continuous provision set up. So that focused teaching means that we are there for those groups of children. And so whether that's in person and giving feedback in person, or whether that's through the live feedback through Google Classroom, which they can then utilise later on. And so the impact, the most important part, across year 3, we feel we've seen a massive increase in independence, both in accessing the different tools of choice, as well as engaging in a range of inquiries using Google Classroom and relevant tools at some point during that process. Class teachers have commented that it has been very interesting to see the reactions of certain individuals within the class with different dispositions to learning, and sort of warm to those different tools and become more confident engaging with resources and tools independently, and as a result showcasing their findings afterwards, which has just been amazing. Because I know for me personally, I've got a number of children in my class who I know wouldn't have touched technology before, just because of disinterest or maybe just a bit of fear, and now they are really using it so well and so independently. And just some feedback from them, because that's the most important part as well. And this was taken directly from a Microsoft form where they said, didn't use a lot of tech before because it wasn't really for me, but year 3 has taught me a lot, and I actually feel confident now, which was great news to hear. Sometimes I use technology a lot for my inquiries and each part. Sometimes I use it for some parts, but then showcase in my learning journal because I'm creative. And then the last one, which I love, I feel like I'm an expert now using Google Classroom because all my work is on there, and I feel really, really proud looking at it, which is just great. And that was 3 out of the 90 that we had, and I could have showed you all of them, because genuinely there was an increase in independence for all of our learners, and that's exactly what we wanted. So it's been a really, really great project, and we feel like it's had a real impact across the school. So diolch for listening.